Possessing the best technical capability and having the most experience is not enough when it comes to achieving company objectives through people. As a leader, being proficient in communication is the most important skill. Thank you for watching our video on leadership communication. In this video, we will provide you with some background information and we will share with you some tips that we believe will help you. Kindly subscribe to our channel and also leave your comments. My name is CraigANel. Communication skills is a telltale sign of a good leader. Effective communication skill is essential. It helps with positive project outcomes, earning respect from your peers, your subordinates, or the people you report into. And it helps a lot with employee engagement. In order to improve your communication skill as a leader, you need to understand this is an important skill to have. Competent information exchange. Leadership communication skills form clear connections amongst your team members, fostering a stronger sense of community amongst everyone. From communicating with team members to keeping executives updated on daily operations, leaders must be able to effectively communicate in various ways with all types of people. Why are communication skills important for leaders? Effective communication skills are crucial for leaders as they facilitate smooth exchange of information. It helps managing teams proficiently, and exchanging information is essential in those teams, especially when you're managing the teams across various geographies or different buildings or different departments. This is why communication, which is the process of doing so, is one of the most critical responsibilities of a leader. What are the benefits of boosting your communication skills? First of all, it achieves improvement in productivity. It improves the company's culture. It avoids miscommunication with subordinates. And it saves the employers lots of money. Next, we will go through each one of these benefits in much more detail. So let's explore how effective communication can help with productivity. First of all, engaged employees are the driving force behind productivity improvements. So when employees feel that they're engaged and when you're communicating and there's an exchange of information, automatically productivity improves. In an organization, a superior's lack of ability to communicate effectively can reduce the motivation of workers and make them less committed to their work. Employee motivation is critical in many organizations. On the other hand, a boss with excellent communication skills is likely to inspire workers to be more invested in the workplace. Therefore, by developing your communication abilities, you can increase productivity by improving employee engagement. Next, let's explore how communication skills can improve the company's culture. In any company achieving success, culture is critical. And finding ways to improve that is important. And as we've mentioned earlier on, it helps with productivity as well. The behaviors of employees define the culture of an organization and should reflect its values. The company culture significantly impacts the employees' work experience, affecting their happiness, satisfaction, motivation, and engagement. Effective communication is a critical factor in shaping organizational culture. By improving communication skills, you can improve the working atmosphere of your employees and create a positive work experience. This, in my view, is one of the key and most important benefits of having good communication skills and boosting those skills. And that is to avoid miscommunication with subordinates. So by improving your communication skills, you can increase the effectiveness of your communication and avoid demotivating workers. Leaders who give unclear instructions can cause workers to lose interest in their jobs, and which can also reduce their motivation. So again, we stress, it all comes down to this key and competence and or skill, and it is essential if you're in a leadership role that you are mindful of your capability and invest in improving that ability. Awesome. Now let's look how good effective communication can save employers money. Unprofessional or ineffective communication by leaders can cost an organization money in several ways. For instance, making unprofessional comments in your managerial capacity can expose your company to legal liability, leading to legal fees and or damages. Miscommunication can waste valuable resources such as time, equipment, or labor. Additionally, leaders who do not communicate effectively usually cause increases in turnover, which is another factor in increasing cost. So losing staff, having to re-employ staff does have a financial impact on organizations. Thus, improving your communication abilities as a manager or leader can save your employer money in the long term. Let's talk about essential communication skills for leaders. We'll talk through empathy, active listening, discipline, accuracy, non-verbal communication, and verbal communication. Let's talk through the importance of empathy in communication. When communicating, empathize with the recipient and understand their perspective. This helps you identify and correct unprofessionalism, miscommunication, or confusion. Guys, I can't stress this more. Many people agree with the statement that people leave people, not companies. And often as I speak to people that have resigned or moved on, the key word that comes out is communication. So empathy is important, and this is in every regardless of the channel that you use or medium, but I think it should be the cornerstone of all types of communication. Active listening for me is probably one of the most critical tools I've learned in my professional career. And this skill involves listening to another person's words, understanding them, and communicating your interest in them. Active listeners tend to have more productive conversations than others because they better engage with people they communicate with. And examples of this is summarizing what you have heard from the speaker and asking clarifying questions when you're unsure, and making sure you understand the meaning of what they're saying, taking notes while they speak if the topic is complicated or important. So folks, these are invaluable lessons I've learned, and whether it's performance management, whether you are sitting in a lecture and asking questions, or you're sitting in a meeting, this is an important tool because you'll retain the information much better. And guess what? That person is also going to respond and positively because you are taking the effort. And most importantly, by asking them or summarizing what they've just said, and this could be even in a call center context when you're speaking to a customer or a debtor if you're working in the collection space, just by repeating what they've said or testing your understanding of the excuse for not paying, for example, it just creates a nice rapport and it gives them the indication that you're really interested in what they have to say. And here we have a nice example of active listening. Let's say a collections team leader might use active listening during their regular meetings with each team member. When team members describe issues they are having with debtors or other team members, the team leader must ask for more information about their feelings and or take notes on the situation. By acknowledging the speaker and recording critical points of the conversation, the team leader can make the team members feel valued. The team members might use the same method to speak to debtors if they work in collections, which can make a good impression on them. So here again, I stress, even if it's speaking to a friend, a partner, whether it's professional or at home, guys, trust me, follow this method. It is probably, I cannot stress how important this is, because often people always in any type of relationship, it boils down to communication, and you, by just following these techniques, will definitely improve communication, especially in a leadership capacity. Discipline is a crucial communication skill because it lets you express yourself well without being distracted by unimportant things. Accuracy is important because it builds understanding and trust in your audience. So by quoting correct information or whatever, and also kind of being honest in what you're communicating with, it's important to build trust. So yeah, we cannot stress this more. Non-verbal communication involves the information you convey with your posture, facial expressions, and other types of body language. And this should support the verbal and written ideas instead of opposing them. So let's, for instance, say you're sitting in a big office and you've sent a email or instant messaging to your team and congratulating somebody for being promoted, but your body language doesn't reflect that. You're sitting there all miserable or sad. Finding the balance between your body language versus what you've just verbalized or in fact written is important. So just be mindful of that, and just look at your non-verbal communication as well. Well, verbal communication. This skill relates to exchanging information verbally and is used by leaders frequently during informal and formal communication. So this is often used in meetings, and many companies, in fact, we've done a survey, on average would have 3 meetings a day, and they verbal. Obviously, verbal communication is used in that. In another course, we'll talk about the various types of communication mediums or tools, and this is very important, especially trying to figure out how you're going to get the message across. Will it stick? Will they remember? Or even, and it also depends on what you want to communicate. So deciding which tool of communication is critical. For most people in leadership position, written communication is probably the primary way of communicating, especially using emails or social media or instant messaging. And with the increasing contribution of remote workers and the use of technology, leaders are often using more written communication. And as said earlier, it includes emails, texts, or chats. Effective written communication expresses the writer's meaning and anticipates the recipient's questions. So we suggest especially with email where you're communicating important changes, often write the email over and over, don't send it, read it, anticipate what questions they may ask, and then answer it in an email. Otherwise, there's a lot of toing and froing, and it just shows you're not effective in writing or in written communication. It has an appropriate tone for the context and fits the relationship between the writer and the readers. So compared to verbal communication, when what you say it's right there, with the written communication, you will have some more time. So just think about issues such as the tone and context, etc. For leaders, this might mean using friendly but professional tone that matches their rapport with their team members. Finally, written communication has focus, which means you might have a single topic per message to help ensure clarity. So it is an effective communication tool, but we strongly suggest that you use this tool circumspectly. Take your time, don't just rush with messages. Think about who your audience are and kind of what you want out of it, and consider other ways of communicating. as this course is about effective communication. So the benefits is under 4 headings: achieving, improving, avoiding, and saving. What we're achieving: productivity improvements. What are we improving? Company culture. What we're avoiding is miscommunication with subordinates, and most importantly, all of this leads to saving our employees or ourselves money. My name is CraigANel, and it's been a pleasure to engage with you on this very, very important subject matter. We look forward to your comments, your feedback, and feel free to engage with us if you want us to customize any of our training material. Have a blessed day.